ॐ शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करभावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्जसम्भावितललाटकं हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्रजं। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹரஹரோஹரா. லோகவீரியம் மகாபூஜ்யம் சர்வரக்ஷாகரம் விபும் பார்வதி ஹிருதயானந்தம் சாஸ்தாரம் பிரணமாம்யகம். சுவாமியே சரணமையப்பா. வாகர்த்தாவிவ சம்பிரக்தௌ வாகர்த்த பிரதிபத்தயே ஜகதः பிதரௌ வந்தே பார்வதி பரமேஸ்வரௌ. ஸ்ரீ பார்வதி பரமேஸ்வராभ्यां நமः. कोमलं पूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहं। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन् हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरनभ्यर्थितानपि आर्तान् कामानजस्रं विदरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी ध्रुममभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयं। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशीविभूषितकरात् नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടുമീറക്കുന്നു നീരജലോചന നിന്നോടായി. ഏതീനോ മന്യനെ കുമ്പിടേണ്ടാത്തോരു രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കെന്നായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for accommodating and joining today. As you know, this is a Parayanam happening tomorrow morning, so I didn't want to miss the class. Plus, today is Narayaneeyam Day, so I thought it's a good opportunity to at least meet up and chant for 1 hour. Okay, so we'll start with Dashakam 74 today, which is Bhagavato Mathura Puri Pravesha Varnanam. So, Krishna entering into Mathura. That's the name of the Dashakam. All right, so first up, Mridulaji, you can be student, and Sita Garu, you can be student. Stanza 1. सम्प्राप्तो मथुरां दिनार्धविगमे तत्रान्तरस्मिन् वसन् आरामे विहिताशनः सखिजनैर्यातः पुरीमीक्षितुं प्रापो राजपथं चिरश्रुतिधृतव्यालोककौतूहल स्त्रीपुंसोऽध्यदगण्यपुण्यनिगलैः आकृष्यमाणो किम्. So like up to 73, the chapters were a little easy. Like starting from the 26, all the, I mean, actually after Rama Avataram, after like about 37 chapters were all pretty easy up to 73. Now from 74, especially after 85, it'll start getting very hard. And 74 and 75 are a little hard as well in terms of the script, I'm saying. Okay, so last class we saw how Akrura had come to Vrindavan and he was taking Krishna and Balarama along with Nanda Gopa and few other Gopas to Mathura under the pretext of a bow festival, which Kamsa had invited them for. We also saw the sorrows that the Gopikas were facing as Krishna was leaving, and then towards the end was the experience that Akrura had when he actually saw, the form of Bhagavan in the waters of Yamuna, right? So we kind of saw that as well. So then this starts from the time they're entering. So they say around noon time, you all enter Mathura. Now this word Mathura was originally called as Madhura because it was like sweet like honey. Like in Tamil Nadu, there's a place called Madurai. That also is coming from the word Madhu. Madhu means sweet, right? So here Madhura then becomes Mathura, right? Doesn't matter, but I'm just saying. So they enter Mathura around the afternoon time. And of course, as Nanda Maharaja and others actually enter earlier, and then eventually Krishna, Balarama, Akrura, all of them reach. Then the first thing Akrura has to do is he has to go let Kamsa know, hey, you sent me as a messenger, and I brought the two boys. I've got Nanda Gopa and everything. So my job is done because he doesn't want to get involved with Kamsa trying to get rid of Krishna and Balarama, right? So he's kind of sidelining himself, saying his job is done. So, Krishna and his friends, of course, they come to a new city because Vrindavan is a small village. So Mathura is a big city, that's the capital where Kamsa is there. So they all decide to go around and then wander around the city and then see what is there. And here Bhattaripat says there are a lot of people who are Stree Pumso Dhyada Ganya Punya Nigalaihe. A lot of men and women who have actually done so much punyam, and some of this will come a little later as well, because they are lining up the streets of Mathura, waiting for Krishna, because they all hear that Krishna and Balarama are coming, and they've heard so much about Krishna, Balarama, and they've done so much punyam that they're waiting to meet Krishna and Balarama in person. So, Samprapto Mathuram Dinardha Bigame, comma, Tatrantarasmin Vasan, add a in, and then a comma. Next time, if you have a double na in Sanskrit, it becomes a arame vihitashanah, comma, sakhi janair yatah, put a f, yataf purim ikshitum. Samprapto mathuram dinadha vigame tatrantarasmin vasanne arame vihitashanah sakhi janair yatah purim ikshitum.
Samprapto Mathuram Dinarthavigame Tatrandharasmin Vasan Arame Vihidashanaha Sakhijanaihi Yada Puri Mikshitum.
Sakhi Janair, there's a ir sound. If you have a visarga, just put a ir to move the visarga.
Okay. What is the title of this chapter?
Bhagavato Mathura Puri Pravesha Varnanam.
Thank you. Just read once, or do you want it?
Twice, sorry.
Twice, okay, thank you. Samprapto Mathuram Dinarthavigame Tatrandarasmin Vasan Arame Vihidashanaha Sakhijanair Yatha Puri Mikshitum.
Samprapto Mathuram Dinarthavigame Tatratarasmin Vasan Arame Vihidashanaha सखिजनैराध्यः पुरीमीक्षितुम् सम्प्राप्तो मथुरां दिनार्धविग्मे तत्रातरस्मिन् वसन आरामे विहितासनः सखिजनैराध्यः पुरीमीक्षितुम्.
That first line after the comma, there's an in sound coming. Tatranta.
तत्रान्तरस्मिन् वसन्.
Prapo Rajapatham, comma, Chira Shruti Dhrita Vyaloka Kautuhala, and put a plus, Stri Pumsodhyada Ganya. Try to say that word, you have to say it together. Pumsodhyada Ganya Punya Nigalaihi. So the ra that is there, we'll remove it, put a visarga comma, Nigalaihi, comma. Next word will start with the a. Akrishya mano nukim. Prapo rajapatham chirashruti dhrita vyaloka kautuhala stri pumsodhyada ganya punya nigalaihi akrishya mano nukim.
प्रापो राजपतं चिरश्रुतिधृतव्यालोक कौतूहलस्त्री पुंसोद्यतगण्यपुण्यनिकलैः आकृष्यमाणो नु किम्.
Rudraji, the third line after Rajapatham, there is a comma, okay?
Okay, thank you. प्रापो राजपथं चिरश्रुतिधृतव्यालोक कौतूहल स्त्रीपुंसोद्यत गण्यपुण्यनिगलैः आकृष्यमाणो नु किम्.
प्रापो राजपथं चिरश्रुतिद्रुतव्यालोककौतूहलस्त्रीपुंसोद्यतगण्यपुण्यनिगलैः आकृष्यमाणो नु किम्. प्रापो राजपथं चिरश्रुतिद्रुतव्यालोककौतूहलस्त्रीपुंसोद्यतगण्यपुण्यनिगलैः आकृष्यमाणो नु किम्.
त्वत्पादद्युतिवत्सरागसुभगाः त्वन्मूर्तिबध्योषितः सम्प्राप्ता विलसत्पयोधररुचो लोलाभवदृष्टिवत् आहृण्यस्त्वदुरस्थलीवदयिते मन्दस्मितप्रौढिवत् नैर्मल्योल्लसिताः कचौगरुतिवत् राजत्कलापाश्रिताः. So the previous one, they said they're going along the Rajapatham. Rajapatham is like the main road, right? The main road which is leading up to the king's quarters, right? So they're walking along that. So everybody's lined up. And here in the stanza 2, Bhattirpad is specifically talking about the women of Mathura, right, who have also come out to see Krishna and Balarama. And like we saw with a lot of other cases, they've all heard about Krishna and Balarama. They've all heard about stories. They've all been wanting to meet them, but never had a chance. So now they're all very excited, right? And the moment they see Krishna and Balarama, they're all feeling, very ecstatic, and they're feeling very, very happy. And in this stanza, you cannot really explain it, but Bhattirpad, what he's doing is he's using the same words, but which is having two different meanings. So one of them is describing Krishna, and the other is describing the women who are seeing Krishna very beautifully. So for example, one he says, Tvat pada dyutivat saraga subagaha. It could be read as your feet is glowing red in color because of that, the marudani, the water they put at the feet, right, which makes it red in color. So your feet is red in color, but could also mean raga subagaha, Saraga Subagaha could also mean the women are in lot of love with you, right? Then one it talks about, how Krishna, your eyes are moving. The other could also be interpreted as the women's eyes looking at you. Then towards the end, he talks about Krishna, you are having the peacock feathers. You're having a cluster of black hair with peacock feathers in it. And the same thing could also be, represented as a women wearing ornaments around their neck. So anyway, he talks about a bunch of things, but essentially what he's saying is everybody is lined up in the streets of Mathura to look at Krishna and Balarama. So, Tvat pada dyutivat saraga subhagaha, comma, Twan murti vadhyoshitaha samprapta vilasat payodhara rucho, comma, Lola bhavat drishtivat. त्वत्पादद्युतिवत्सरागसुभगाः त्वन्मूर्तिवद्योषितः सम्प्राप्ता विलसत्पयोधररुचो लोलाभवदृष्टिवत्
त्वत्पादद्युतिवत्सरागसुपहाः त्वन्मूर्तिवद्योषितः सम्प्राप्ता विलसत्पयोदररुचो लोलाभवदृष्टिवत् त्वत्पादद्युतिवत् सुभगाः त्वन्मूर्तिवद्योषितः सम्प्राप्ता विलसत्पयोधररुचो लोलाभवदृष्टिवत्
त्वत्पादाद्युतिवत्सरागसुभगाः त्वन्मूर्तिवद्योषितः सम्प्राप्ता विलसत्पयोधररुचो लोलाभवदृष्टिवत् त्वत्पादद्युतिवत्सरागसुभगाः त्वन्मूर्तिवद्योषितः सम्प्राप्ता विलसत्पयोधररुचो लोलाभवदृष्टिवत्
आरिण्यस्त्वदुरः पुट इस्त्वदुरस् स्थलीवदयिते comma मंद प्रौढिवत् put it at the end of that line and comma प्रौढिवत्. Next line, if you have a double na, one of the na will go away because it became a it at the end of the third line. So it's nair malyolasitaha, comma kachaugha ruchi vat rajat kalapashritaha. That'd be easy to break it. Ruchi vat rajat kalapashritaha. हारिण्यस्त्वदुरस्थलीवदयिते मन्दस्मितप्रौढिवते नैर्मल्योल्लसिताः कचौगरुचिवद् राजत्कलापाश्रिताः.
हारिण्यस्त्वदुरस्थलीवदयिते मन्दस्मितप्रौढिवत् नैर्मल्योल्लसिताः कचौखरुचिवत् राजत्कलापाश्रिताः. हारिण्यस्त्वदुरस्थलीवदयिते मन्दस्मितप्रौढिवत् नैर्मल्योल्लसिताः कचौखरुचिवत् राजत्कलापाश्रिताः.
हारिण्यास्त्वधुरस्थलीवदयिते मन्दस्मितप्रौढिवत् नैर्मल्योल्लसिताः कचौगरुचिवद्राजत्कलापाश्रिताः. हारिण्यास्त्वधुरस्थलीवदयिते मन्दस्मितप्रौढिवत् नैर्मल्योल्लसिताः कचौगरुचिवद्राजत्कलापाश्रिताः.
The third line, first word, harinyas. I think you're saying ya. There's no a sound there. Harinyas.
हारिण्यस्त्वदुर.
Yeah, that's correct. Rest of the stuff is correct. Stanza 3. तासामाकलयन्न पाङ्गवलनैः मोदं प्रहर्षाद्भुतव्यालोलेषु जनेषु तत्र रजकं कञ्चित्पटीं प्रार्थयन् कस्ते धास्यति राजकीयवसनं याहीति तेनोदितः सद्यस्तस्य करेण शीर्षमहृताः सोऽप्यापपुण्यां गतिम्. So like the women of Vrindavan had also said, the Gopikas had said, that the moment Krishna and Balarama go to Mathura, then they're going to be very hard for them to come. The people there are going to shower so much love on them, which is what is happening. So everybody who looks, is being very happy and they are excited to see Krishna. So they're going to bump into a few people right now. So first, they actually meet a washerman, someone who actually dyes the clothes, which means they color the clothes, right? And he's actually carrying some of the, the very well laundered, fine set of clothes he's carrying, probably to sell somewhere. So Krishna and Balarama approach that washerman and tell them, can you please give us some clothes, give it as a charity, because these are like young boys, right? Krishna is 11 years old. So they say, please give us some clothes because we don't have any good clothes. We have to go meet the king. Now, this washerman, kind of, rebukes them by saying that, you guys are all, looks like you all come from some forest area. You look like very ordinary boys. And these are all, very expensive clothes, which are worth to be given to the king. So he says, I cannot. And then he calls Krishna Ekavastradharini, means the one who is actually wearing a one layer of cloth, right? So they all kind of abuse Krishna and Balarama and all the boys, right? Saying that, you cannot be begging like this because the king's men will all kind of come and get rid of you. So anyway, when all of this happens, then what it says is Krishna, then with his nails, it says he gets rid of this. Now, the context behind this, right, to look into it is, while it is not there in Narayaniyam, but there is something called as a Garga Samhita, which was written by sage Garga Muni. So that's Garga Samhita is a conversation between Garga and it written by Garga, but Narada, telling the stories. So in that, Narada tells about the washerman who was there in the Treta Yuga when Rama was there, the one who triggered the conflict between Rama and Sita, that he felt very bad. So he wanted some way to kind of come and apologize to the Lord and eventually attain salvation at the hands of the Lord. So that is there in Garga Samhita, that washerman is then born again in Dwapara Yuga, waiting for Krishna to come, and eventually he comes and meets Krishna. Right? That's what is there, but that is not there in Narayaniyam. But anyway, here this washerman comes and says, he refuses to give the clothes. So, Bhuyo Bayakam Ekam. You can break at the two mas, it will be easier. Bayakam Ekam Ayata Matim, comma. Toshena Vesho.
I think you skipped.
3 முடிக்கணும்
Oh,
இல்ல?
Yeah.
sorry. I went to the fourth one.
Sorry.
Tasam Akala Yenna Panga. That entire word is together. Tasam Akala Yenna Panga Valanaihi. Put a visarga and comma there. Valanaihi. The next word, Modam, there is a ir that will go away. Modam Praharshadbhuta. Then put a plus. And then the entire rest of the second line will come together. Vyaloleshu Janeshu Tatra Rajakam Kanchit Patim Prartayan. तासामाकलयन्न पाङ्गबलनैः मोदं प्रहर्षाद्भुतव्यालोलेषु जनेषु तत्र रजकं कञ्चित् पटीं प्रार्थयन्.
तासामाकलयन्नपाङ्गवलनैः मोदं प्रहर्षाद्भुतव्यालोलेषु जनेषु तत्र रजकं कञ्चित् पडीं प्रार्थयन्. तासामाकलयन्नपाङ्गवलनैः मोदं प्रहर्षाद्भुतव्यालोलेषु जनेषु तत्र रजकं कञ्चित् पडीं प्रार्थयन्.
तासामाकलयन्नपाङ्गवलनैः मोदं प्रहर्षाद्भुतव्यालोलेषु जनेषु तत्र रजकं कञ्चित् पटीं प्रार्थयन्. तासामाकलयन्नपाङ्गवलनैः मोदं प्रहर्षाद्भुतव्यालोलेषु जनेषु तत्र रजकं कञ्चित् पटीं प्रार्थयन्.
कस्ते दास्यति राजकीय वसनं, कॉमा, याहीति तेनोदितः, कॉमा, सद्यस्तस्य करेण शीर्षम् आहृताः, कॉमा, सोऽप्याप पुण्यां गतिम्. कस्ते दास्यति राजकीय वसनं याहीति तेनोदितः सद्यस्तस्य करेण शीर्षमहृताः सोऽप्याप पुण्यां गतिम्.
कस्ते दास्यति राजकीयवसनं याहीति तेनोदितः सद्यस्तस्य करेण शीर्षमहृदाः सोऽप्याप पुण्यां गतिम्. कस्ते दास्यति राजकीयवसनं याहीति तेनोदितः सद्यस्तस्य करेण शीर्षमहृदाः सोऽप्याप पुण्यां गतिम्.
कस्ते दास्यति राजकीयवसनं याहीति तेनोदितः सद्यस्तस्य करेण शीर्षमहृताः सोऽप्याप पुण्यां गतिम्. कस्ते दास्यति राजकीयवसनं याहीति तेनोदितः सद्यस्तस्य करेण शीर्षमहृताः सोऽप्याप पुण्यां गतिम्।
भूयो वायकमेकमायतमतिं तोषेण वेषोचितं दाश्वांसं स्वपदं निनेत सुकृतं को वेद जीवात्मनां मालाभिस्तबकैस्तवैरपि पुनर्मालाकृता मानितो भक्तिं तेन वृतां दिदेशितपरां लक्ष्मीं च लक्ष्मीपते. So then, after that incident with the washerman, they come and meet another person who's a weaver, right? Who is actually weaving different clothes. And the Krishna and Balarama, of course, went and asked him. But this time, this weaver is like, absolutely, whatever clothes you want, you guys can take. So Krishna and Balarama put on some really pretty clothes, and then they were looking very beautiful there or handsome there. And at that time, the Krishna was so pleased with the weaver, so he says, he blesses the beaver, saying, whatever you wish is going to come true, and eventually you will also attain liberation with the Supreme Lord. So that is one instant with the beaver. Then they keep going. Then they go meet the garland maker, somebody who's making garlands. His name is Sudama, not Krishna's friend Sudama, some other Sudama. So even then, Sudama, the moment he saw Krishna and Balarama, he felt like there was some connection between him and them. He somehow had a feeling that these are very great personalities. So of course, he prostrated and then he made garlands for Krishna and Balarama and gave it to them. So Krishna asked him, what do you want? Right? He says, whatever you want, I will give it to you. But that person says, all I want is that I want that consistent devotion to Bhagavan. That's the only thing I want. So Krishna says, so be it. So here Bhattaripat says, this Krishna avataram is one of those things, and a beautiful stanza is going to come in 6. But in 4 itself, he says it's one of those things that these people have done something good, because otherwise they wouldn't have had a chance to come and interact with Krishna like this and then do something of directly offering. Right? We all offer different things in our puja room, but here this person is directly offering the clothes that Krishna is wearing. Other person is directly giving the flowers that Krishna is going to be putting. So he says they have all done some great punyam, in their previous lives, because of which they're able to have this level of interaction. So bhuyo vayakam ekam ayata, you can break it that ma, vayakam ekam ayata matim, comma, toshena veshochitam, comma, dashvamsam swapadam ninetha, comma, sukrutam koveda jivatmana. Say in some previous life of theirs, they must have done punyam, not necessarily this life, previous life, to be able to get this opportunity. भूयो वायकमेकमायतमतिं तोषेण वेषोचितं दाश्वांसं स्वपदं निनेथ सुकृतं को वेद जीवात्मनाम्. Just read one time.
भूयो वायकमेकमाय तमतिं भूयो वायकमेकमायतमतिं तोषेण वेषोचितं द्वाश्वांसं स्वपदं निनेथ सुकृतं को वेद जीवात्मनाम्.
भूयो वायकमेकमायतमतिं दोषेण वेषोचितं दाश्वांसं स्वपदं निनेथ सुकृतं को वेद जीवात्मनाम्.
मालाभिः पुट इस् स्तबकैः पुट इस् स्तवैरपि कमा पुनर्मालाकृता मानितो कमा भक्तिं तेन वृतां दिदेशित परां कमा लक्ष्मीं च लक्ष्मीपते. मालाभिस्तबकैस्तवैरपि पुनर्मालाकृता मानितो भक्तिं तेन वृतां दिदेशित परां लक्ष्मीं च लक्ष्मीपते.
मालाभिः स्तवैरपि पुनर्मालाकृता मानितो भक्तिं तेन वृतां दिदेशित परां लक्ष्मीं च लक्ष्मीपते.
मालाभिस्तबकैस्तवैरपि पुनर्मालाकृता मानितो भक्तिं तेन वृतां दिदेशित परां लक्ष्मीं च लक्ष्मीपते.
कुब्जामब्जविलोचनां पति पुनर्दृष्ट्वाङ्गरागे तया Datte sadhu kilanga raga madadaha tasya mahantam hridi chittastam mrijatham pratayitum gatnepi tasya sphutam grinnan manjukarena tamudanayah tavad jagat sundari. So then after meeting with this weaver and blessing also the garland maker, so next when Krishna and Balarama are walking along with their friends, they're actually seeing a hunchback woman, right? So she's got a very pretty face. So she's not very old. She's actually a young lady, but then she's actually having a hunchback, right? And her name is Trivakra. Trivakra means her body is bent in three places, right? That's how her body is, just bent right from a childhood or whatever. Her body is bent like that. And so Krishna then asks, like, who are you and what are you carrying? And she's carrying these perfumes, so really scented perfumes. And she says, I'm a servant, I'm a maid of Kamsa, and what I do is I'm supposed to go and give him these perfumes every day, right? I serve the king, I go take all these perfumes to him, which Kamsa likes a lot. So, however, the moment she sees Krishna, she feels she's not able to see Krishna's face because her head is always looking down, right? Because she's a hunchback, but she's just looking at Krishna's feet, and she's looking at Krishna's feet, and then she has this feeling in her heart, this is some great personality, but I'm not able to see his face, right? And she offers them all this, fragrances and everything. So what Krishna does is he puts his feet on her feet, and then with his two fingers he puts it under her chin and then lifts her up. And when he lifts her up, it says, her hunchback goes away. And then she becomes Tava Jagat Sundarim. And then she becomes one of the most, because she was already a beautiful looking woman, but she had this hunchback. And then with that, and this is going to come, yeah, and then he makes her a beauty, and she's going to come a little bit later in 76th Dashakam. She's going to come again. But anyway, in this point, he then cures her hunchback and then makes her normal. So Kubjam Abja Vilochanam, comma, Pati Punar Drishtwanga Rage Taya, comma, Datte Sadhu Kilanga Ragamadadaha. Remove that is, put a visargan, comma, Ragamadadaha. Tasya Mahantam Hridi. Kubjam Abja Vilochanam Pati Punar Drishtwanga Rage Taya. Datte sadhu kilangaraga madadaha tasya mahantam hridi.
Kupjam abjavilochanam padipunar drishtwangaraage taya datte sadhu kilanga ragamadadaha tasya mahandam hridi.
Sorry, yeah. Kubjamabjavilochanam pati taya datte sadhu kilangaragamadadah tasya mahantam hridi.
Chittastam rijuthamata, easy to break it with that im, rijuthamata pratayitum, comma, gatrepi tasyaha, put is tasya sputam, comma, grinnan manju karena tamudanayaha, that is goes away, visarga, comma, tavat jagat sundarim. Chittastamrjutamata pratayitum gatrepi tasya sphutam grinnan manjukarena tamudanayah tavad jagat sundarim.
Chittastamrjatamada pradayidum gatrebi tasya spudam grihanan manjukarena tamudanayah tavajjagasundarim.
Chittasta rujuthamata pradhayitum gatrepi tasya sputam grinnan manjukarena tamudanayah tavat jagat sundarim.
Let's switch halfway. Ratiji, you and Sashireka, you can be students. Census 6. तावन्निश्चित वैभवास्तव विभो नात्यन्त पापा जनाः यत्किञ्चित् ददते स्म शक्त्यनुगुणं ताम्बूलमाल्यादिकं गृह्णानः कुसुमादिकिञ्चन तथा मार्गे निबद्धाञ्जलिः नातिष्ठं बतः यतोऽद्य विपुलामार्तिं व्रजामि प्रभो. And he says, so many people were lined up on the streets of Mathura. people were carrying different things. Some of them were carrying, like it says here, tambulam, carrying betel leaves, like bethalite, right? Some people are carrying coconuts. Some people are carrying fruits. Some people are carrying flowers, right? Yatha Shakti, whatever they are able to, they are carrying, right? And we'll see this lot in Krishna Avataram. We'll see when Kuchela episode comes. Even before that, when Krishna goes to visit two kings, we'll see there's no comparison of what you are giving versus what I am giving. You only give what is according to your capacity. It's the intent of giving than the item that is given. So Bhattacharya says there are so many people who are standing there, each of who is trying to offer something to Krishna. But he says the one thing that is common is these are people who have already done punyam because they have that mindset to say, I want to go meet Krishna, right? And here, very beautifully, remember, you have to remember what Bhattacharya's state is. And today being Narayaneeyam Day, such a nice stanza to reveal here is he's suffering from rheumatoid arthritis. He's having body pain all over. He cannot write. He's having somebody else write for him. He cannot sit. Despite all this, he doesn't whine. He says here, Krishna, I know why I am sitting here struggling. He says, because either if I was born at that time, I might have been in Mathura, but I might have said, I'm too busy to come. I have other things going on. I cannot come to see Krishna. He said, if only I had come just to come and meet you, because Krishna Avataram, Krishna was like giving liberation left and right, right? You give him a garland, you get blessed. You give him, like clothes, you get blessed. You give him perfume, you get blessed. So he says, it would have been so simple for me. I would have just had to come there, offer you something sincerely. I would have got liberated. But instead, I might have been sitting at home, not wanting to come and meet you, because of which I have taken another birth now and having to go through all these sufferings, right? He says, that's why, Brajami, I'm experiencing all this because, I did not join my palms, right? Marge Nibaddha Anjalihi. I did not join my palms and do Anjali to you when everybody else was there coming and standing. That's what he's saying here. So, Tavan Nishchita Vaibhavas Tava Vibho, comma, Natyanta Papa Janaha. So add a visarga there. You may not have it. So add a visarga, comma. Yat kinchit dadate sma shaktya nugunam, comma. Tambula malyadikam. Tavannishchita vaibhavastava vibho natyanta papa janaha yat kinchit dadate sma shaktya nugunam tambula malyadikam.
तावन्निश्चित वैभवास्तव विभो नात्यन्त पापा जनाः यत्किञ्चित् ददते स्म शक्त्यनुगुणं ताम्बूलमाल्यादिकम्. One more.
Two times.
तावन्निश्चित वैभवास्तव विभो नात्यन्त पापा जनाः यत्किञ्चित् ददते स्म शक्त्यनुगुणं ताम्बूलमाल्यादिकम्.
तावन्निश्चितवैभवास्तव विभो नात्यन्तपापा जनाः यत्किञ्चित् ददते स्वशक्ति अनुगुणं ताम्बूलमाल्यादिकम्. तावन्निश्चितवैभवास्तव विभो नात्यन्तपापा जनाः यत्किञ्चित् ददते स्वशक्ति अनुगुणं ताम्बूलमाल्यादिकम्.
Grinnanah, put grinnanah kusumadi kinchana tada, comma, marge nibaddhanjalihi. Add a visargan, comma, nibaddhanjalihi. Next line on top of the na, there is a ir that will go away. Natishtham bata ha yatodhya, comma, vipulam artim vrajami prabho. Grinnanah kusumadi kinchana tada marge nibaddhanjalihi natishtham bataha yatodyam vipulam artim vrajami prabho.
गृह्णानः कुसुमादिकिञ्चन तदा मार्गे निबद्धाञ्जलिः नातिष्ठं बतः यतोऽद्य विपुलामार्तिं व्रजामि प्रभो. गृह्णानः कुसुमादिकिञ्चन तदा मार्गे निबद्धाञ्जलिः नातिष्ठं बतः यतोऽद्य विपुलामार्तिं व्रजामि प्रभो.
गृह्णानः कुसुमादिकिञ्चन तदा मार्गे निबद्धाञ्जलिः नातिष्ठं बतः यतोऽद्य विपुलामार्तिं व्रजामि प्रभो गृह्णानः कुसुमादिकिञ्चन तदा मार्गे निबद्धाञ्जलिः नातिष्ठं बतः यतोऽद्य विपुलामार्तिं व्रजामि प्रभो.
The 7.
Rajeshri,
Yeah.
in the first line, after Kinchana, is it tatam or just tata?
Tada.
Like grinna tata, not tatam. Okay,
Tada. Tha and da. First da, first da. Tada.
And then the second one, sir, is it natishtam pataha then yatotya or ha yatotya? How do you separate?
No, it's in separate words. Bata ha yatodya.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, it's all separate words only. 7. Eshyamiti vimuktayaapi bhagavan आलेपधात्र्यातया दूरात् कातरया निरीक्षितगतिः त्वं प्राविशो गोपुरम् आघोषानुमितत्वदागममहाहर्षोल्ललद्देवकी वक्षोजप्रगलत्पयोरसमिषात् त्वत्कीर्तिरन्तर्गता. He says, now, so that just goes back to the Trivikra thing. So now that she's, her back has become straight, and she's become normal. So she now really falls for Krishna. She says, Krishna, I don't want you to leave me and go. And, she really wants to be with Krishna. But Krishna says, I'm actually going to be going. I'll come back again, once my purpose is done, which is tomorrow, I will come back. So with that, Krishna leaves. And then she continues to look at him as Krishna and Balarama and all the friends go away. Then the last two stanzas, Bhadrapad is kind of, being a poet, he says, it's like sometimes you say that your reputation precedes you, right? So it says, Krishna, you entering, and as you start walking on the Raja Margam, as you start walking through it, it says Devaki, Krishna's mother, she starts lactating because she's never had a chance to feed Krishna, but somehow she has a feeling. He says that my son has approached me somewhere around. She doesn't know Krishna is coming, of course, but she says she's beginning to have that feeling in her that somehow Krishna is coming very nearby and she is having that experience. So, Eshyamiti Vimuktayapi Bhagavan. It's a double n there. First put a in Bhagavan, comma. Next word become Ale Padatriyataya, comma. Durat Kataraya Nirikshita Gatihi. So remove that is, put a visarga, comma. Tvam Pravisho Gopuram. Just do one time, Natiji. I'm not sure we'll finish 10 today otherwise. So, Eshyamiti Vimuktayapi Bhagavan Alepadatryataya Durat Kataraya Nirikshita Gatihi Tvam Pravisho Gopuram.
एष्यामीति विमुक्तयापि भगवन् आलेपदात्र्या तया दूरात् कातरया निरीक्षितगतिः त्वं प्राविशो गोपुरम्.
It's Asia, right? Not Asia.
Eshyamiti.
Okay. Eshyamiti vimuktayapi bhagavan padatriyataya durat kataraya nirikshitagatihi tvam pravisho gopuram.
Aghoshanumita Twadagama Maha Harsholalad Devaki, long E, then put a plus, Vakshoja Pragalat Payo Rasa Mishat. There's a two it there. First put one it and comma, Mishat, comma, Twat Kirtir Antargata. So that third line is continuous and then a comma after it. Aghoshanumitatvadagamamaha harshollaladdevaki vakshoja pragalatpayo rasamishat tvatkirtirantargata.
आघोषानुमितत्वदागम महाहर्षोल्ललद्देवकी वक्षोज प्रगलत् पयोरसमिषात् Totkirtiranthargata.
One question, Rajeshi. It's Tvadagama. Is it Tvadagama Maha?
Swadagama.
Okay. आघोषानुमितत्वदागममहा हर्षोल्ललद्देवकी वक्षोजप्रगलत्पयोरसमिषात् वत्कीर्तिरन्तर्गताम्.
That's right. आविष्टो नगरीं महोत्सववतीं कोदण्डशालां व्रजन् माधुर्येण नु तेजसानुपुरुषैः दूरेण दत्तान्तरः स्रग्भिर्भूषितमर्चितं वरधनुर्मामेति वादात् पुरः प्रागृह्णासमरोपयः किल समाक्राक्षीरभाङ्क्षीरपि. So next, the Krishna, and Balarama keep walking. They ask the people, where is this bow festival happening? Because the bow festival is supposed to happen tomorrow. So the bow festival is a massive bow which is there, and it's like a big bow of like Indra, and somebody has to lift the bow, and they were supposed to string the bow. That is the bow festival, and they worship the bow. It's actually a worshipping, right, of the like Ayudha Puja that we do, right? So that's what the bow is kept. So they enter into that hall where the bow is kept, where the bow festival is supposed to be happening. But the moment Krishna and Balarama walk, the people, it's like when Putana came, nobody felt like stopping her, right? Similarly, when Krishna and Balarama go, these guards are like, okay, these two looks like strangers, but somehow they are so well dressed and they look very royal that they didn't feel like stopping them, right? So Krishna and Balarama just enter in there, and Krishna first goes, he goes and worships the bow which is there, and then he lifts the bow very easily with his left hand like Lord Rama does. He strings the bow very easily, and then he breaks the bow off. It is just like how like an elephant just breaks a sugar cane. He says he very easily lifts the bow and then breaks the bow. As by the time he's lifting, the guards realize what is happening. So that's why they're saying here, no. That's what the ma iti. Ma in Sanskrit means no. So they keep saying no. What are you doing? But by the time they said that, they had already broken the bow. Avishto nagarim mahotsava vatim, कोदंडशालां व्रजन्, माधुर्येन नु तेजसा नु पुरुषैः. So put a visarga and comma, purushaihi. Next line on durena, there is a ir that will go away. Durena dattantaraha. Avishto nagarim mahotsavavatim कोदंडशालां व्रजन् माधुर्येन नु तेजसा नु पुरुषैः दूरेण दत्तान्तरः.
Avishto nagari mahotsavavatim kodandashalam vrajanna madhuryena nutejasa nupurushaihi durena dattantaraha.
आविष्टो नगरी महोत्सववतीं कोदण्डशालां व्रजन् माधुर्येण नु तेजसा नु पुरुषैः दूरेण दत्तान्तरः.
स्रग्भिर्भूषितम् अर्चितं वरधनुर् मामेति वादात् पुरः, that line is continuous. Pragrinnaha, put the is, pragrinnas, samaropayah, put the ih to join, samaropayah, kila, samakrakshir, you can break it, that it will be easier, samakrakshir, abhangshir api, ing sound, abhangshir api. स्रग्भिर्भूषितमर्चितं वरधनुर्मामेति वादात् पुरः प्रागृह्णा समरोपयः किल समाक्राक्षीरभाङ्क्षीरपि.
स्रग्भिर्भूषितमर्चितं वरधनुर्मामेति वादात् पुरः प्रागृह्णा समरोपयः किल समाक्राक्षीर अभाङ्क्षीरपि.
After that killer, there is a comma, okay, in the fourth line.
Okay.
स्रग्भिर्भूषितमर्चितं वरधनुर्मामेति वादात् पुरः प्रागण्डा समरपयः किल समाक्राक्षीरभाङ्क्षीरपि.
Click on the fourth line, second word, samaropayah.
Samaro. Okay.
Samaropayah kila.
I have the samara. Okay. Samaropayah kila. Okay.
Answer 9. श्वः कंसक्षपणोत्सवस्य पुरतः प्रारम्भतूर्योपमश्चापध्वंसमहाध्वनिस्तव विभो देवानरोमाञ्चयते कंसस्यापि च वेपतुस्थदुदितः कोदण्डखण्डद्वयी चण्डाभ्याहतरक्षिपूरुषरवैः उत्कूलितो भूत्वया. She says that breaking of the bow, the sound that it creates was like a precursor to what was going to be happening the next day. Like something is going to come, you then beat drums to say something is going to be happening, right? She says this breaking of the bow created so much noise, which is an indication of what is actually going to be happening the next day. So the caretaker, the one who was supposed to be taking care of the bow, when he sees that these two boys just walked in and they ended up breaking the bow, he's in trouble. So he immediately calls all his people and they all rush towards Krishna and Balarama. Then Krishna and Balarama take the pieces of the bow and then hit all those guys off and they just run away from there. So, but this news spreads of what happened. It just spreads that these boys just came and this boy very easily lifted the bow and he strung the bow and he broke the bow and he just knocked all these other guys off. So the news reaches Kamsa. So this has now become late evening, right? So Kamsa already is afraid about the person, this person is going to kill you. And that person has now come close to you. And now Kamsa hears more about how that person is so strong that he's able to string the bow and do all this. So what happens that night is Kamsa is very terrified, right? So he's not able to sleep because he's constantly thinking about it, right? So whatever thoughts and emotions we have during our day, it follows us into the sleep. If you've had a very happy day, you have a little trouble falling asleep because you're so excited about it or you're very happy about it. But if you've had a horrible day or if you're really upset about something, that then goes very long into your sleep. That's what is happening to Kamsa. He's constantly thinking about Krishna. He's not able to get Krishna's thoughts out of his head, right? He's so worried what's going to happen tomorrow when Krishna and Balarama walk into that festival, right? Because he knows this person is destined to kill me. I'm not able to get rid of him through all these different things. So that night, Kamsa spends all continuously thinking about Krishna. So that's why even for the Jaya Vijaya also, Krishna gave a thing saying that you come through the thing of hatred, because when you really hate or you're afraid of somebody, that the feeling you have very deep into your senses, right? Emotions, it goes very deep, right? And that's what is happening to Kamsa right now. So he's very trembling and he's very afraid about it. Shwaha is there, put the ih sound. Shwah Kamsa Kshapanotsavasya Puratah, put a F Puratah, Praramba Turyopama, then put a plus. So we're going to say that next line together. But there's a ish at the beginning of the next line. It might be easy if you bring the ish to the end of the first line. So Turyopamash, Chapa Dvamsa Maha Dhvanis Tava Vibho, then a comma. Devana Romanchayat. So Devas are happy because they know what is going to be happening now. श्वः कंसक्षपणोत्सवस्य पुरतः प्रारम्भतूर्योपमश्चापध्वंसमहाध्वनिस्तव विभो देवानरोमाञ्चयते.
स्वः कंसक्षपणोत्सवस्य पुरतः प्रारम्भतूर्योपमश्चापध्वंसमहाध्वनिस्तव विभो देवानरोमाञ्चयत.
श्वः कंसक्षपणोत्सवस्य पुरतः प्रारम्भतूर्योपमश्चापध्वंसमहाध्वनिस्तव विभो देवानरोमाञ्चयत्.
कंसस्यापि च वेपतुस्तदुदितः, कोदण्डखण्डद्वयी, put a plus, चण्डाभ्याहत rakshi purusha ravaihi. So the ru that is there, you remove it, put a visargan comma, purusha ravaihi comma. Next word is started with the u. Utkulito bhutvaya. Kamsasyapi cha vepatustaduditah कोदण्डखण्डद्वयी चण्डाभ्याहत रक्षि पूरुषरवैः उत्कूलितो भूत्वया.
कंसस्यापि च वेपथुस्तदुदितः कोदण्डखण्डद्वयी चण्डाभ्याहत रक्षि पूरुषरवैः उत्कूलितो भूत्वया
कंसस्यापि च वेपतुस्तदुदितः कोदण्डखण्डद्वये चण्डाभ्याहत रक्षिपूरुषरवैः उत्कूलितो भूत्वया
शिष्टैर्दुष्टजनैश्च धृष्टमहिमा प्रीत्या च भीत्या ततः सम्पश्यन् पुरसम्पदं प्रविचरन् सायं गतो वाटिकाम् श्रीधाम्ना सह राधिका विरहजं खेदं वदन् प्रस्वपन् आनन्दन्नवतारकार्यघटनात् वातेश संरक्ष माम्. So Kamsa is like twisting and turning in his bed. He's thinking more about Krishna than any devotee would, right? So that is what is happening there, right? Is that entire night he thinks about Krishna until the morning. He doesn't sleep through the entire night. He doesn't know what to do anymore. So as he's thinking about it, Krishna and Balarama and the friends, they eventually leave and then they come back to where they were actually camping or wherever they were staying that night. So at the time of Krishna's departures, the gopis had said, right, the people of Mathura are so blessed that they will now get to interact with Krishna, and that was coming true. So the residents of Mathura, whoever were offering Krishna stuff and got to meet Krishna, they all were blessed. They all had very nice experience, right, with Krishna as well. And so then at night, Krishna is sitting with his friend Sridamna and talking about how he's missing Radhika Virahajam, how he's actually feeling the separation, the anxiety of separation from Radhika as well. And they're all just having a conversation. However, he is also aware, Krishna is aware of what is going to be coming tomorrow. So Anandan Avatara Karya Ghatanat. So one of the key things, of course, Krishna Avataram, lot of things Krishna ends up doing, but one of the key things that Krishna ends up doing is getting rid of Kamsa. So he knew the impending action that is going to be happening tomorrow. So thinking about that, Krishna is feeling much more relaxed. So with that, oh Guru Arapa, please eradicate my ailments. This Dashakam comes to an end. Shishtair Dushta Janaischa Drishta Mahima, Preetya cha bhitya tatah, sampashyan pura sampadam pravicharan, sayam gato vatikam. Shishtair dushta janaischa drishta mahima, preetya cha bhitya tatah, sampashyan pura sampadam pravicharan, sayam gato vatikam.
शिष्टैर्दुष्टजनैश्च दृष्टमहिमा प्रीत्या च भीत्या ततः सम्पश्यन् पुरसंवदं प्रविचरन् सायं गतो वाटिकाम्
शिष्टैर्दुष्टजनैश्च दृष्टमहिमा प्रीत्या च भीत्या ततः सम्पश्यन् पुरसम्पदं प्रविचरन् सायं गतो वाटिकाम्
Sridamna sah Radhika Virahajam, Khedam Badan Praswapanne. Put a in at the end of that line, Praswapanne. Next time you'll have a double na that will go away. You'll become a Anandhan Navatara Karya Ghatanat, Vatesha Samrakshamam. Sridhamna sah Radhika Virahajam Khedam Vadan Praswapanne Anandan Avatara Karya Ghatanat Vatesha Samrakshamam.
श्रीदाम्ना सह राधिका विरहजं खेदं वदन् प्रस्वपन् आनन्दन्नवतारकार्यघटनात् वातेश संरक्ष माम्
श्रीधाम्ना सह राधिका विरहजं खेदं वदन् प्रस्वपन् आनन्दन्नवतारकार्यघटनात् वातेश संरक्ष माम्.
Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. In the class here today. सान्ध्रानन्दावबोधात्मकमनुपमितं कालदेशावधिभ्यां निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनरुरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावद्भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानाम् कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank
We
you,
have wonderful
Rajesh.
chanting
Thank you,
tomorrow.
sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for making it a special day for us too, sir. Yeah.
No problem anytime.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Good evening.
Good
Bye.
night.